Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Which is Wingin' It with my co-host with the most, Jen, and my witchy poo sister. How are you doing, honey? Of course, I'm Buffy, so you know who I am.
I'm
How you
good. How are
doing?
you?
I'm just peachy, just peachy. What's been going on as of recent with you, ma'am?
Uh, Nothing much.
Not a whole heck of a lot.
Nope, just pretty much staying out of trouble and loving this weather in the evening we've been having. Hasn't been
Oh my
too
god.
hot, so I've been actually able to venture outside without dying of heat exhaustion.
I know. The weather has been so nice.
Yeah,
So
it's
nice.
really been nice. Uh, Went to the movies yesterday.
Did you? And what did you
Yes,
see?
saw The Conjuring,
Did you what time did you go? Because I was there as well.
4:30.
4:30.
Mm,
I went at when did I go? Um what the heck time did I go?
which one did you go to?
I went to the 135, and that was at well, I went to the the Who's a Jigger, the one at the riverfront.
Oh, okay, we were at the one by the Christiana Mall.
Ah, I
We
may have to
decided
go
we wanted
myself.
to try out the um, new 4D seats that they have in the movie theater.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How was
Does
it?
Riverfront have them yet?
The riverfront does not have them yet. They still have like the IMAXy stuff. They do, however, have some of the theaters have the only thing that they have that's special is that some of the theaters that they have that the seats up front or up top where you can like recline
Oh
and
yeah,
you can
yeah.
go up. They
Now,
don't have the 4D yet.
yeah,
Not that I'm aware.
Christiana has. They still have the IMAX, and then inside the IMAX, the one level is the like layback, relaxing ones, and then the next level down is they just put in the 4D seats.
Wow.
And they lay back and relax like the other ones, but they
Hmm.
have you can hit the intensity level, so you can either have it at low or you can have it on the highest intensity that they have. And then it's
I know
also
you had it at the highest intensity
oh, I
level,
did.
right?
It was high. I was
You
like,
know.
this is as far as it goes.
Oh my
They
god,
had
were you shivering in your seat?
I did jump once. I did have the one jump scare to get me. And it probably wouldn't have been as bad if I wasn't in the seat, but
Right.
because in the seat, like it's as soon as like the music starts, your chair just starts like buzzing. It's like boo, boo,
Oh
boo.
wow.
As it's getting like more like the intensity's going up. And then like if
Hmm.
you're in like a car chase, like as you're
Yeah.
zipping in and out, the chair is going with you.
Oh
um
wow.
it was really good. And then the one jump scare that got me, it really like shook me up and it had me jump, and I was like, Jesus Christ. And the guy next to me
Yeah.
laughed at me.
Oh,
But it was good. It was a good movie.
I'm glad you had a good time. I had a good time. It was I well, I have this habit of wanting to sit way up top and be as far away from people as possible because
Yeah.
I don't like kids zipping in and out and doing, this, that, and the third, running around, carrying on. It was the theater was not as packed as I thought it was going to be for opening weekend, but I guess everybody went Saturday. They went Friday night. The only thing, and this is just being a parent, I don't know about anybody else. You parent the way you parent. I'm a parent the way I parent. That's fine. Okay. My thing is that I had the whole top row to myself to my left until I think it was like 5 minutes into the movie. A family of four sat down. It was a mom and three kids. None of these three kids was over the age of 11. Just let's put it this way. Mind you, it is a rated R movie.
Mhm.
So nowadays they don't even check anymore. They just like boop whatever. Yeah, you're seated here at this theater, da da. And being able to get movie tickets off of the internet, they don't check for ID. They don't, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I can tell you that within 5 minutes of being there, the what appeared to be 6 year old or 7 year old, what had her head so buried in her mom's armpit and so scared that she was shaking. Do you know that mother did not get up out of that movie theater and made all three of them that terrified, made them watch the movie?
Take the trash out.
Yep.
If not, I'll take that one.
Okie dokie. That was Mama Dukes, everybody.
Hi,
Remind
Mama
me.
Dukes.
She said, "Hi, Mama Dukes." She said, "Hi." That is irresponsible. Why
Yeah.
would you take a child that is under the age of rated R, well, rated R to begin with, and subject your child to nightmares at the end of the night? That just says, I don't understand that. I really, really don't understand that.
Yeah, no, there's
Um,
no, and what that is that was her wanting to see that movie and
oh,
not
yeah,
waiting until she could get a babysitter.
that's right.
And that's
Mm,
it's ridiculous. They're the kids of that age should not have been in there. I mean,
no,
I I know I jumped, and I know that the movie was good, and I wasn't scared like scared in the movie theater.
right.
But it does make you think, and it does stay with you because me at my age, I mean, I'm going to be 46, and I got up last night at 3 o'clock in the morning because I had the worst case of heartburn that there ever was,
Oh, God.
and I had to get up. I was like, I need to find my omeprazole. I need Tums. I need an exorcism, something because it was
I
bad.
need an exorcism.
I
I
mean,
need an
it woke me
exorcism.
up just coming up my throat. It was so bad, and it was oh god, I shouldn't have had Taco Bell for dinner. That was my problem. But
Right,
at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm going downstairs, and by the time I hit the living room and it's pitch black down there, guess what?
right.
Images were flashing through my head.
Oh,
The
God.
creepy lady from the movie, and it's just
The
and
creepy lady from the movie, of
yeah, and
course.
it's just like that flashed in my head, and I'm like, that's so if that can happen to me as an adult, I can only imagine those three kids and what they had to endure going home to
They
go to
were,
sleep.
I kept looking over at them and they looked completely terrified. Like one just had the heart look, the 11-year-old, who I think was the oldest, had the look of horror on her face and she was like this the whole time, like, I don't want to move. I don't want to go anywhere. Um
It's a shame.
and that's a shame. I mean, that's you're right, Jen. That's someone right there who doesn't want to wait to get a babysitter or can't find someone to babysit at that point, and
Mm-hmm.
you gonna take your kids either way.
Yeah.
Don't subject small kids to that. That's not something for them to see. That's why they have ratings on movies. Um, Otherwise, it was great. The IMAX was just as good. I mean, literally blew my eardrums out with it.
Yeah.
I did enjoy it. What were your thoughts on the movie?
I mean, I liked it. I liked how it went back to the beginning and kind of showed a glimpse of their first case. And
Mm-hmm.
then, I mean, I thought it was very good.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know because I never really did a lot of research on their daughter. So if the movie is to be true, I did not know that she had the same gift as Lorraine.
I don't think a lot of people know a lot about Judy, and I will tell you that I think she wants to keep it that way.
Yeah.
That Judy is such a private person, that I think she is pretty much over the whole Ed and Lorraine thing. Now,
Yeah.
mind you, remember, she lived in that house with those haunted objects. She lived through a lot of that.
Yeah.
And it is common for a gifted parent through heredity to give that to their child.
Yeah.
Or for it to skip a generation. So she could either have it all or not have any of it. And that was kind of like a neat trick that we're not going to spoil it for everybody, but there's a trick that Lorraine, whether it's true or untrue, I don't know, taught her a trick, and Lorraine's not here to defend herself. Was to do a sing song to kind of like bring herself down a little bit and to kind of make the bad go away.
Yeah.
And
the only thing I was really confused about that was, I mean, that was great that she had that to stop stuff, but I felt like maybe she should have worked with her a little bit more to be able to control and work with that stuff. Because I think that was part of the issue, was she didn't have a lot of knowledge into what to do.
Right. And, you know, I think we as paranormal investigators, or those of us that are really interested in the occult and movies like that, we put these people on a pedestal. If they're real life people, we put them on this pedestal, and that they can never do anything wrong. They're, you know, they're experts at everything. And I think you're right with that. I think maybe it's possible that Lorraine was in denial. You know, that not my daughter.
Yeah.
This can't possibly be happening. Not my daughter. Not this time. I'm not allowing it to happen. But you have, as a parent, no control over that.
Yeah.
I mean, with Gabby, I saw it by year 2. The whole deadpan staring into space, talking to nothing, things in the corner, laughing at things in the corner. You know, when nothing is there, kind of thing. And the only thing I said was, "Oh God, here we go again." You know, and I immediately tried to teach her ways to, you know, focus on other things to avoid, ways of knowing that something is bothering you or not making you feel good. Discernment was a whole big thing. Did she pay attention to a lot of it? Probably not. I doubt it, because she still calls me for shit. Oh, she still calls me for ish nowadays. Mom, come get it. Come over the house. There's something over the house that's causing issues to happen. You brought it. You're the one that needs to put it back, girl. Listen, you live 20 minutes away from me. Do you see what time it is now? No. Mm-mm. You deal with the demon that you created. I'm sorry. And you may think that sounds like a crass thing to do, but I'm trying to teach her to be independent about it. I've given her all the tricks. She needs to remember all those things. She needs to remember those things.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was, for those of you who have not seen it, did you catch the Easter eggs, the little nuggets in the movie?
At the end?
Well, at the end, yeah. But in one particular scene, there is someone there you should have recognized. Now, everybody says I'm crazy. I am not crazy. I saw it, and I know who that person was. So, did you see it?
I don't know.
You didn't seize it?
Trying to think.
I keep thinking that's a friend of mine in the comments, and it's not. It's Tim's picture in the comments.
Yeah, I don't.
Tim, you're gonna have to. I guess you can type up the comments. I guess in Facebook or something, because I don't know whether we're getting comments in the chat from who's the jiggers from StreamYard, but I can't say them because I'm not actually on StreamYard at this point. So I don't know. Maybe you can, Jan. Okay, so I'm gonna give you this one little part because the steam is coming out of your ears. Just like, I wish you would just tell me who it is. There is the scene at the birthday party. You see Lorraine walk into the den where the TV is. And someone sits down in one of those little comfy swivel chairs.
Yeah.
And she says, "Oh, excuse me." The woman, Vera Farmiga, says, "Oh, hi, Dave." Vera Farmiga, who plays Lorraine, says, "Oh, I'm sorry," or "Excuse me, Judy."
Oh no, I would have missed that because I don't really know what she looks like.
Yeah. If you go back on Facebook, her and Tony were at the premiere of Annabelle, the last Annabelle movie, and they were at this premiere together. And there's a picture. She looks. Tell anyone that he was in the movie. I'm not supposed to say anything that Dave was in the movie. Apparently, Dave Cummings was in the movie. Yeah. And she looks just like her mother. She looks like a chunkier version of her mother. The whole face is total Lorraine. All Lorraine. Hair color, everything Lorraine. Yeah. So you'll see her sit down in the chair. Am I late? No, Bruce, you are not late. Hi, Bruce. Bruce just popped up and said, "Am I late?" No, you're not late. So you'll see those little Easter eggs. I can tell you to be very vigilant if you haven't been to the movie yet and you're going to go see it. A, keep an open mind. B, look out for these little things, because the director and the producer put a lot of little, I don't know whether we call them Easter eggs or nuggets, in the movie. And if you've seen all of the Conjuring films, you'll see it. You'll see them, but you got to be vigilant. And some of them are quick, like the one with Judy, super quick.
Yeah.
And then
so that would be something I would have to, like, when it comes out and we can watch it on TV at home, to be able to sit down and watch it and look for those things. But when I was in the movies, I was like laser focused. Like
laser focused.
I was like, in my little seat, and every time the music started, like,
oh Jesus! Well, I didn't have that. Comfort, that creature comfort. But I was in an IMAX, so it was loud enough. It is always funny to that way they don't have to pay those little cameos. He said they put nuggets in there so they don't have to pay people. But I don't know how true that is. But it is always. Did you ever notice when you go to a movie theater and you go to watch a horror movie, you can be sat next to the biggest, meanest looking man, right? And as soon as a jump scare happens, I had one sitting next to me to my right, and he was solid in the entire movie until the first jump scare happened. Then you heard, "Damn!" And he was
that was probably like with man. And the one that was sitting next to me, he was the tiniest of things.
Terrible.
And then I accidentally bumped the button for my feet for the thing in the recliner part.
Yeah.
And it started to go down a little bit. Of course, when it happened, it was like so quiet in the movies at that particular point. You hear it, and it does this like "Nee."
Oh God. The
I'm like,
whole theater heard her
I did.
cheering.
I like jumped and like looked at it, and then I look over and Jason's looking at me, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I accidentally hit the button."
Way to go, Mom. Way to have the entire movie theater just turn
Well,
around and be
Jason,
staring at
he's not going to leave you out. So then next thing I know, I hear, "Nee," and there goes his, and he's moving it. So then I move mine up, and it's like, "Nee," and then we hear
Oh,
two
God.
down. There's the two people down there like, "Nee, nee, nee."
Oh God. The
And me
war
and
of the
Jason lost it. We're
the
just
war of the feet
laughing,
rest.
but it
Jesus.
was a good time.
I'm glad it was a good movie. The only thing that I wished that it had more of was more content about the Smurls.
Yeah.
And less about Judy and Tony, or less about Ed and Lorraine. They could have taken some of that out, and not that I'm not interested. Trust me, I Ed, Lorraine, wherever you are, I love you both terribly. Um, would defend you as long as the day is long. But there are some things that I think they could have taken out and put more uh more stuff in about the actual Smurls and about the actual case that happened.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that um Karen Smurl had made a comment on social media about the movie. I guess she had gone to say it, or had gone to the premiere maybe to say it. Did you happen to see that?
No, I didn't.
Uh it was, I'm gonna say there were some clapbacks out in there to the Warrens, or to the, not specifically to the Warrens, but to the, not to the Warrens, but to the directors. Let's just put it that way. It had nothing to do with the Warrens. I misspoke, but it was more to the directors and the producers. Was that she could not understand why there were scenes with Judy, because she was never there. Neither was Tony.
Mm,
Never, ever did they step foot in that Smurl house. Ever.
wow.
I do agree in giving creative license. You have to do that, because that just that's what sells. I mean, eh, you know, that's what sells movies.
Yeah.
Bottom line. But when you take, hey Jim, hey Lucy, um, hey Lisa, I'm sorry, but that's what you can take creative license. That's what sells movies.
Yeah.
The anticipation, the jump scares, embellishment sells. But I think what I got out of her letter, or her comment to social media, was a lot of anger. I think she was angry
Mm,
that I don't think it covered it. In the book, I'm sure they all said the book, I'm sure the book was better. Yeah, the book's going to be better. If they had taken the book word for word and made it into a movie, that movie would have been 4 or 5 hours long
mm-hmm.
to get everything in there. That's where the department edits. That's why they have an editing department. They
Yeah.
do that. Um, and you have to understand, in some embellishment, some things, when it comes to embellishing, uh, you know, uh, what the heck is a smurl? He said, "What the heck is a smurl?" Tim said, "What's a smurl?" It's a little blue person. No, no, that's a
That's
smurf.
a Smurf.
That's a smurf. Um, the Smurls, that was the last name of the family from the last Conjuring movie, from Conjuring the Last Rites. It was based on a family who was actually not far from where we are in Delaware, in Pittston, Pennsylvania. They originally came from Wilkes-Barre, which again is not that far away from us in the state of Delaware. So that's what a smurl is. So, what is that going on in your house, ma'am? We have a cat that has gone off the rails. We have a hex. We have a hex that has gone
I have
off
a
the
hex.
rails.
She just knocked her water over.
Eh.
She has a little self water that sits there next to her food, and all of a sudden I just hear her going glug 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 glug. glug. So I thought she just kind of like turned it because she likes to attack it when it does that. No, she done knocked the whole thing over.
Hexy girl, what are you doing?
And then she just looks at you like, what, me?
Yeah, of course. That's what mine does. Tim asked if you had known that the Conjuring house was going up for sheriff's auction.
Yeah, on Halloween.
Yep, October 31st. We are aware. What are your thoughts on that since you followed the whole thing? Oh Lord.
I hope whoever decides to buy it is just respectful with it. I kind of thought, because I guess was foreclosed on, because I guess the other lady didn't have the money or whatever is what I read. And I feel like the bank should just keep it. You want to keep it open for tours and stuff like that, but I don't know. I just hope that the next owner is somebody who's a little like respectful and doesn't do stuff to make it worse. But I'm interested to see what happens.
Well, here's the thing: is that she couldn't come up with the money for it because, she was turning people away, and what was she doing with all that money? What was she doing with all that money? Because there were tons of people that she had turned away. There was even an organization or an investigative team that came all the way from Sweden. They bought plane tickets. They rented like a bed and breakfast, or not a bed and breakfast, an Airbnb, whatever have you. The night that they were supposed to spend the night in the house, there was no one there. They called her and she said, no, you can't come in here. And they asked for a refund. And she said, no, you're not getting your money back. They had to leave.
That's crazy.
And she has so many lawsuits and so many citations from neighbors, investigative teams who actually went to the police and decided to fill out a report that they were being robbed. She robbed them of their money.
That's exactly what she did.
Yeah. And then that whole thing with the accusing the groundskeeper. That's what started the whole thing, accusing the groundskeeper of stealing money and then firing him. And then she was at will firing people left and right. Then she was blaming people for things. And then she all of a sudden became a psychic medium and said that the man who originally owned the house was talking through her, telling her that she can't watch these people. You need to watch these people. All this, that, and the third. You need to fire these people. And
did she stay in the house at all?
She did. She stayed in the house a couple of times. I don't think that was her permanent residence. I don't think she was there the entire time or all of.
I'm just wondering, like, how much time she spent there, because she sounded like she's gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
She did. And then she was caught several times for DUI. Would not get out of the car. She was arrested twice by, I think it was the Burrillville police, and they caught it on body cam because she was driving drunk, and then she refused to get out of the vehicle, that they had to pull her out of the vehicle. That's resisting arrest. Plus the driving while intoxicated. And then I don't know whether she hit one of the police officers or whether she became combative and she shoved him. Then that's another charge right there. She didn't show up for court when she had to. She bailed herself out, didn't return to court, got a warrant put out. It was a whole mess. It was a whole mess.
She did the whole kit and caboodle.
She did. And Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs right here. Right here. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Tim said, she's possessed, right? I don't think she is possessed. I think they have two sets of hauntings, because I don't think that was the original location for that house. I think the house was actually moved at one point. I think there is what is in the ground and then what is in the house. And the only way to know exactly what is going on is for me to either show up there one day and say, I want to do an investigation, a field trip, or remote view. I don't think, now hear me out, I don't think Bathsheba was such a bad person. I don't think she was the witch that everybody claimed her to be. I don't. I really, really don't. And this is where you separate movies from actual truth. I don't, the whole movie, if you had seen The Conjuring with the Perrin family, there was mention that Bathsheba had hung herself, that she had one night gone nuts, committed her soul to the devil, and then climbed up a tree, hung herself by that tree until someone found her the next day. There's rumors that she put sewing needles through her baby's head in order to kill him, to give up his soul for the devil. She didn't do any of those things. Jim and I did a show on the Conjuring house. I think it was with Bathsheba, and a lot of those things were untrue. A lot of them were very untrue. They said that it is reported in history that she never hung herself. She died from what they called the stillness. You got to remember, back then in the 1800s, they didn't know what a stroke was. I think she had a stroke that limited her movement and her ability to speak. And I think that's what she died from.
Mm.
The two sons, she had two children, I think it was. It says in rumors that she killed both of her kids. The one son did die very early on. The second son lived to the age of 52. He died from a heart attack. It's reported. It's in the Connecticut registries of death. He died from a heart attack. It was, he had heart issues. He died from a heart attack. She didn't fling him into the water. She didn't smother her baby. I wish people would just do research first before you slander people. And I do know that she's in that house. I do know that she's haunting that house. And I think she's angry. Rightfully so angry.
I would be.
I mean, to have your name slandered, to have your headstone vandalized to the point where people have to put up gates around your headstone so that vandals can't like throw rocks at it, scrape it up, spray paint on it, which is what they found. Um, and to be called a witch and say that you sold your soul to the devil. That's something to be angry about. Not only that, you're going into a house where millions of people have walked in, and to be stuck there against your will,
Yeah.
and then every day be asked to perform parlor tricks. Are you here? Are you here? Give us a sound. Give us a sign. Would you like that? If your eternal rest was ruined, and you were left to a servitude, a lifetime, an entity, an infinity of servitude, going, answering people, can you hear me? If you're here, make a sound. Make a
Yeah.
sound. That's no way for someone to live.
Yeah.
I think she was a hard woman. I really think she was a hard woman to get along with. I think she was stubborn and stuck in her ways. Here we go back to, the times of the witch trials. You could be a stubborn person and be considered a witch because you didn't want to bend under a man's boot.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to own your own property. And then when the splitting of the property happened, that's another thing to be angry about. She wanted rightfully to live in peace and not bother anybody. Do I think she had gifts? Absolutely. I think she was a medicine woman. I think she was a healer, and I think she had visions. And I think
Yeah.
they were all misconstrued as something else. And
Yeah.
I think the community labeled her as a witch.
Well, that was par for the time back then. So
That was par for the time back then. I do agree with that. Um, I know who I would like to see put a bid in on the property and win that bid. And he himself has said early on, he said no. And that was Jason Hawes. I think it would be poetic justice since the previous owner, the one who is no longer owning the house, who started all this BS, wrongfully accused Jason of trying to murder her. I met the man. He is the kindest, funniest person, genuine, down to earth that I've ever met in my entire life. And it was noted that he didn't do it. Everybody knows that it wasn't him. He never made mention of that. But she became very vengeful, and she attacked him every chance she got, through social media, through phone calls, texts, and it just made his life a living hell. And someone asked him during his podcast, I think it was during one of his podcasts, that given the opportunity, would you buy the house? And he said no. And he said it's a lot of undertaking. I just really don't think it's right for me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of time, it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of money that I don't, and none of us really have, kind of thing. So if he doesn't put a bid in it, I would love to see his daughter Satori and her husband Cody put a bid in on that house and win it.
No, they're the ones that worked there for her for a period of time.
They did, and they were also accused of setting the fire in the barn. That there was a huge fire in the barn, and I believe Satori and Cody lost a lot of their collectibles, their haunted collectibles, that they were going to use that barn area as like a haunted, kind of like museum collectibles thing. And they lost a lot as well, and it is reported that, and I don't know how true this is, but it was reported, so don't take any of this for gospel, that there was a conversation between between Jacqueline and Satori and Cody, and they said once we get the insurance, she said once we get the insurance money, I'll give you some of the money to rebuild the barn to everything, back to the way it was, or at least replace some of your stuff. That never happened. So, but I would like it to go to someone who has the time, the investment, can give that house the love that it needs, the love that it's been, I don't want to say yearning for a very long time. It definitely needs to be fixed up, but I want someone who respects spirit, that will respect the spirits that are in that house and on that land and treat them appropriately.
I would like to see it go to somebody who does investigations,
Yes.
who know what they're doing. I am awfully scared that Zach Baggins is going to get in there, and I feel like at that point it's going to be a loss, because I feel like everything he gets a hold of and he touches is just a big joke. But
Oh yeah, Chuck Wagons. If that happens, and Chuck Wagons, it'll be another fiasco. It'll just be another fiasco for him to put under his belt, and that's terrible. It really really is. They did have something from Andrea Perrin, who wrote something to the effect of she was happy that, I guess, the owner the owner lost, that Jacqueline lost the house. And she kind of like said the same thing. And Jason Hawes posted it on his. So if you follow Jason Hawes on Facebook, you can go and find it and read it. She wrote a very lengthy, long, segment, I guess, on social media to the effect of, whoever gets this house, I hope they can respect it.
Yeah, I think she even said that she had somebody in mind who she hopes would purchase it, but it didn't. So
yeah, and she said, "Can we all?" Something to the end, and I kind of chuckled at the end of her comment was something to the effect of, I hope that all of the professional paranormal investigators out there can, if they can't all get together and share ownership of the house, can we just manifest good things for this house? Can we manifest it? And I thought that was so apropos, and I kind of smiled and chuckled at the end of that. She said, no doubt that house needs a lot of repair. It needs a lot of repair, but it also needs a lot of love and a lot of respect that house hasn't had in a long time. I don't know. Tim said, what is the house worth? I have no idea. I know that the price that Jacqueline bought the house for was over $1 million. She did. House sell for? I'll let you know in just at 1.525 million.
Buffy, it won't
Jacqueline
be us.
bought it. Yeah, Jacqueline bought it because she apparently owned she worked for a realty company. She owned or worked for a realtor, a real estate developer. That's what she was, a real estate developer. It says, she bought it for 1.525 million. It says here Jacqueline Nunez, a Boston area real estate developer, paid more than the 1.2 million asking price for the historical property in Burville, Rhode Island. So you know that price has gone up exponentially since the whole kerfuffle of, the past year, 2 years in a row with the whole
Are
thing between paranormal investigators and everything else going on. So I'm gonna say that the house will probably sell for 2.5 million.
are they going to make the auction live?
I do not know. The only information I got was that the auction was going to happen, the sheriff's auction was going to happen on October 31st, which was Halloween. That's it. That's all the information I've been able to come up with. Bruce said, I told y'all I got to put a bid in. Jen's going to end me, he said. Oh my goodness.
Well,
And
not
who said
that level
something?
yet.
Yeah. According to Tim, here's Bruce can do the repairs and you guys can give it all the love that it needs. That's Tim's comment.
I need to know how much time we got to put in to make our money back.
A lifetime. A lifetime, my dear. A lifetime.
Oh, geez.
And Tim says if the bank owns it, they will not lose on it. Leaves me out. I only have 1 million. I only have one. But, there is a depreciation. I mean, come on now there, Tim. The weather up here ain't suitable for you anyway, dude. Remember, you don't like anything below 80 degrees. We're talking about Burville, Rhode Island. New England.
It's going to get cold.
It's going to be cold as hell. Cold as hell up there.
Hexie,
what's she doing?
she is like going through like my shelf and she's like tiptoeing around all my breakable stuff. I'm just waiting for her to knock them off.
Okay.
She's being a pain in the tonight. Put her new collar on and she got sassy.
Oh, okay. I see that.
Got her purple collar.
Tim was talking about his relatives until he's been. You know that one of them got their headstone stolen, right?
Who did?
Out of the graveyard. It was Elizabeth, wasn't it? Tim? Was it Elizabeth? I think it was Elizabeth. They stole her headstone.
Man.
It was Elizabeth. They stole her headstone. I hear her through my phone loud. She's loud.
She does, yeah, she does it all the time. She comes, as soon as I came home, she jumps up. She's got to put her paws up here on her shoulder and she stretches and then she looks and she's like, meow.
Oh, God. Oh, my gosh.
I think she's down there.
That's not her. That's the cat.
Is that yours?
Calling. No, we have 2 feral cats that I feed. One of them is Oreo and the other one I just named Snickers. That's either Oreo or Snickers that sees Maven through the window and is calling to her. Miss Man, don't you put your head out through that window.
No dates tonight.
No dates tonight. She's fixed anyway, but that's all I need.
Pain in the butt.
He said she wants a brother. I got to get her cosmic creepers. What the hell is cosmic creepers? Please.
No, you don't know. Who said that?
Bruce,
I knew it was when you said that name. Cosmic Creepers is the cat from Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
You know what? You're right. That's how old I am. This ancient brain, this is just done shriveled up to a prune.
Yeah, he tried to name her that when we got her. I was like, I'm not naming her Cosmic Creepers.
Nope, that's too long. That's too long of a name. Oh my goodness, too long of a name. Um, can you imagine though the amount of work that that house would need? That farmhouse would need. Ugh.
Oh, I wouldn't even. I wouldn't survive it. That would be too much for me.
Yeah. I mean, they actually had a groundskeeper that, well, he's the one that got fired. He's the first one that she gave the boot to, accused him of stealing. How could he have stolen if there were surveillance cameras all over the place?
That's what I mean. Like she just went a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and
Yeah.
I just think maybe it got to her too much. I don't know because she
I
just
don't know either. That's weird. I mean, it even did you read some of the Facebook posts that she would make on the Conjuring's Facebook page before
no,
it got banned for like the 80th time?
no, I did not.
She would post pictures of like the woods, right? Or where the water was, out to where the water was between the trees, and say, such a beautiful day here in Burrville, Rhode Island. Um uh, the birds are speaking to me. And she would make comments like that she could communicate with the animals and they were talking to her. Oh God. Yeah. And you know, and then she'd go on these tangents about the Chinese and the Russians, and you know, they were infiltrating the America. This is what's wrong with America and everything. And she would
Oh
get
my
just go
gosh.
off on these tangents that, you got to the point, the halfway point where she was coherent, and then you just like, screw it, and you would crumple it up, or shut your laptop and say, I can't read any more of this because this just makes absolutely no sense. Like, she should have been fitted for a tinfoil hat and a rubber room
That's
somewhere.
crazy.
I And then if you could look her up online, she had all these things where she was like a volleyball coach, and it didn't even explain. There's Maven. Meow. There's Mavens. There's Maves. Oh, the Maves. Maven, what are you doing? Anywho's, like, she was a volleyball coach, and I don't know how it went from moving from one state to another to get a job as a volleyball coach, not getting it, going into real estate, and then telling everybody she's a psychic medium. I don't know. I don't know. And then throwing everybody out. Of course, we don't know. There's two sides to every story. And the people that got fired unjustly are not here to speak for themselves. So, you know what I mean?
Next
I
thing you're
don't
gonna
know.
see is they're gonna collab together and do a book.
I wouldn't put I think they should. I think they should. It would not I would not put past Jacqueline Nunez to write a book from her padded cell where she needs to be.
Well, yeah,
I
because she's already been a volleyball coach, and then she went to be a real estate developer, and then she went to be a owner of the Conjuring House. Then she became a psychic medium. So, I mean, what's
yeah,
being a book writer now? Let's keep moving.
I don't know. I don't know. But that's so sad. So sad. We have new comments. I haven't been keeping up with the comments. Bruce says, or no, Dave Cummings says, I can say the closer to Canada you get, the colder it gets. I used to live in Iowa, close to Minnesota line, where the temperature was negative 35 below zero. I think that was the comment to my comment about uh Tim not liking anything below 80 degrees.
Yeah, that's too cold up there for me. I can't do that.
What if we put the heater up on full blast until like April for you, Tim? Would you come up?
Woo! I don't know if I would or not. Dang, man,
I
you guys are
conjured him up.
freezing me to death. You know, right now we about 83 degrees and storming out here. Damn, why the hell would I want to go up there for that kind of weather?
Listen, it is 65 and comfortable, sir,
Not
up
me,
here.
not me, not me. If it drops down below 80 degrees, I got my long sleeves on.
Mm-mm.
It
It was 54 this morning, and it was beautiful.
Oh,
was
heck
54.
no. No.
I walked
Nope.
outside and just took a deep breath and went, damn, it smells good out here. Look at this.
Not me.
Feels
I'd look like
good.
a hermit. I'm telling you right now, I would not do good in that way. No.
He'd be like a turtle. He'd go back into his shell and hide.
Oof.
Yeah, that's how I am with heat. Mm-mm.
The
Mhm.
hotter the better for me. Like when I put my gear on when I go to work, I've got like my Tyvek, I got my vest on, I've got my weapons on, and I'm walking around, man. I love it. I love that heat. Yeah.
No way, sir. No,
Yeah.
sir. Mm-mm.
There ain't no way I'm gonna do that cold. Nope. Ain't no way I'm
Tim's
gonna
gonna be marching on. I'm gonna be on the ground, like pulling myself, like, wait.
Wait.
Hey, getting back to this conjuring house, right?
Yeah.
So with Bathsheba. Now is I got a question for you. Bathsheba
Okay.
still-
Is she still there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that she has an effect on these new owners because of where they are? They disrespect the house. They're not doing what they should. They're not being respectful to her.
Mm.
You think that has a big influence on everything that's going on, or is that just make believe movies to bring in the ratings?
I think any spirit can have influence on someone on this plane of existence that still has a pulse, especially those that are already obsessed with the paranormal. Those that are already, I don't want to say suffering from or have, I guess it's the only term I can use, suffering from some form of mental illness, which I think played a big part with Jacqueline. And this is just my personal opinion. This has no bearing on any of the people that ever worked there. A little PSA announcement. We're gonna get real right here. This has no bearing on anyone who worked there, of the people that got fired or left on their own volition. I think she already had some mental illness. I think she was obsessed about the paranormal. And I think, this is my personal opinion, that yes, I think all of those spirits, including Bathsheba's, influenced her to go even more nuts because of the way they were being treated, or she was treating the spirits, in hopes that she would put it up for sale, that things would get so bad that they would force her to put the house up for sale.
So spirit would force her to put the house up for sale. It's not because of her not having the funds to pay for the house. Apparently, she does real well if she has all of these different lucrative jobs, like in real estate, and
Yeah.
and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So the house needs a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Probably worth over $1 million plus, whatever million.
Oh gosh,
you said
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If anyone gets that, if if someone bids on that house and they get it,
Mhm.
I know the banks are very, very hard to bend. They don't like to lose their
No.
money. They want to break even or make money,
Yeah.
and that's understandable.
Mhm.
But let's say Jason does get the house.
Mhm.
All right. Is there a chance that he may wind up being in the same state as who the hell are they? Smurfs? Smurfs?
The
What are they? Smurfs?
Smurls. The
Smurfs.
Smurls. The
There you go.
Smurls.
Smurfs.
The
Okay.
Smurls.
Because apparently what's in that house is affecting that family, right?
Mhm.
So it's affecting them to the point to where they don't have a choice but to say put the house up for sale or have it
Mhm.
foreclosed on. Whatever's happened, I
Right.
don't know.
Mhm.
But um, do you think that there's a possibility that who may buy that home will have the same demeanors as the Smirts are now? Who
I
originally was the first owners? Padrone's right?
are you
Padrone's
talking about you're not talking about The Conjuring, the last movie, which was in Pittston, Pennsylvania. We're talking about the actual Conjuring house in Rhode Island.
Wait a minute. How many of these Conjuring houses are they?
One.
Okay,
One.
so you got one in Rhode Island and then you got another one somewhere
This
else.
is right. The one in Rhode Island is the one that we're talking about. The
Okay, so
one
that's the original, right?
that's the original house, the one with Bathsheba Sherman.
Okay, okay.
The one that the first Conjuring movie was made about, the Perron family, who moved into that original Conjuring house in Rhode Island, in Burrville, Rhode Island.
Okay.
Okay. The one that Jacqueline Nunez wound up purchasing for $1.5 million. That's the one that we're talking about. The one that caused all the chaos and spread all the lies about Jason and, fired people, wouldn't give people their money back. I truly believe that she already had some mental issues going on. I think being obsessed about the paranormal made it worse, and
Right.
I do believe that. And bro, if you're in here, anybody else who wants to make chime in about in the comments about it, I do think that spirit, given those factors of A, mental illness, B, obsession about the paranormal, can influence you, can
Yeah,
influence.
absolutely.
And I think they
Absolutely.
made it really tough. I think they saw that they were being the spirits were being disrespected. I think the spirits got angry and they said, "We'll fix your little ass. Watch us. We'll make it so horrible, and we'll drive you so nuts that you'll be forced to close this house down or sell it
Okay.
Like,
to
I think
someone
it's
else."
funny that you said that because in the beginning, when we first started, I was going to ask you a question, and then we got off on the Conjuring, and then that just went all haywire, and we just went from there. But
Mhm.
I had a question in the beginning that I was going to ask and kind of go on the subject
Okay.
is how you felt. Say you have a house, nothing happens in the house, but then all of a sudden you start having things happen, and people are saying, "Oh, it's this, it's that," but you can't find any kind of proof of anything that anybody's saying. So then people say that things are manifested because of the idea that it's haunted, or the stories that people tell, or the fear that people have when they go there manifests the haunting that's happening. So I was going to
Mhm.
ask you how you felt about that and if you think that's a possibility. But as we're talking about this and my mind's sitting here wandering, I'm thinking the same thing as for her. She bought this place knowing that it was haunted with the story that's behind it. She
Mhm.
believed in it so much and the things that were happening that I think it just really set into her mind and kind of made her go crazy.
I think that's a great possibility. I mean, we've always talked about how you can create your own haunting.
Absolutely.
And even Jim Bro says you can create your own haunting. There are factors that culminate to that, creating your own haunting. One of them is an obsession with things, with haunted things, and constantly just eating, sleeping, breathing, paranormal this and paranormal that, and for a month straight doing nothing but watching either horror movies like Conjuring movies and stuff like that. You can psych yourself up to create your own haunting. You very well can. Do I think that the house came with spirits? Yes, I think it did. I don't think there are as many there as people say that there are. I think of two people that are there, that are in that house. To me, one of them is Bathsheba Sherman. We all know why I think she's there is because of the stories that were created about a woman who just wanted to be left alone. She just wanted to live in peace and heal people and um kind of go and figure out her gifts or what she has going on, with the ability to be able to see things or predict things maybe. And I think people blowing it out of proportion made her angry. And I think this whole thing over the past 2 years has made her furious, made her livid. I mean, because that's all they talked about for an entire year, 2 years, is Bathsheba Sherman, the woman who killed her child, the witch, the one who hung herself, the one who you know, professed her soul to the devil and then hung herself, when none of that is true.
Yeah, that's all backyard talk right there. And
Yeah.
as you know,
Mm-hmm.
my ancestors went through that same fate.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you something. I don't think she hung herself. She may have had a stroke, like you said, but if
Mm-hmm.
they did find her hanging, that was because someone else put her up there, but because of her own doing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they always, especially we all know how these backwoods religions take place, right? So they
Yeah.
always come up with all these stories and everything that they label someone uh, something that they're not. I know my ancestors were, um, medicine women. They wasn't nowhere
Mm.
near, witches, but yet that's what they were labeled as. Now, I think Bathsheba was the same way. I think they
Mm-hmm.
put that label on her just to um, go ahead and execute her. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And and back then that was legalized murder. It was legal to do that. Yet it was murder, and any way you look at it. But anyhow, carry on, ladies. Thank you
So,
for inviting.
oh, you're welcome. You can pop up here anytime you want, sir. I want your um what's your take on this, Jen? Same question back at you.
I think I absolutely think you can manifest a haunting with your thoughts and fear and stories and stuff like that. And I think a lot of stuff in certain places probably boils down to, especially when you can't find the proper information to back up people's claims. So to me, yes, I feel like if it's the other way around, and I think if you go into a place thinking, I'm buying a haunted house, I've seen the Conjuring movie, I've seen what they went through, and then you're in there and you're psyching yourself up I think absolutely, the mind is a incredible thing that can, do weird things when it comes down to it. And I think she may have bit off more than she can chew, and I just think it, kind of eroded her brain there with what's going on. And I mean, I hope maybe if she takes the time after leaving the property and she's away for a while, maybe, it'll help kind of calm things down and she'll go back to normal. But, then again, maybe it's not, and maybe it is a mental illness. Who knows at this point? I mean, scientifically, paranormally, I mean, it can go either way, but
Right.
I mean, I definitely feel that that's probably a little bit closer to what happened to her than anything.
It's kind of like what came first, the chicken or the egg. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
did she have the mental illness prior, or did the house drive her nuts?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And did you create your own haunting? And, that's a great possibility. I mean, we've talked for the longest time about creating your own haunting. And, we just discussed that about, being obsessed with paranormal activity and watching and doing eat, sleeping, and breathing nothing else but paranoia and the paranormal kind of things, and how that can sometimes create your own haunting. And then you can psychologically put yourself on survival mode to where every single noise is, was created by a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Like your house settling or just doing its normal creaking, things like that. You can, oh my gosh, it was a ghost. Oh, my house is haunted. You know what I mean? Or you can have, in certain circumstances where, pardon me, spirits that are already living in the house, they can definitely play a big part on the psyche of the person who's got the pulse in the room.
Yeah.
If they want to, or if they're that strong that they can communicate in some way, shape, or form. Just like with Jacqueline Nunez, when she was saying the reason that she fired the groundskeeper was because that the spirit of the old man that lived there in the house was telling her that he was stealing.
Yeah.
And that she had to fire him. Well, I mean, there's no basis. There's no proof.
Yeah.
There's no proof. Yeah, I mean, if you have surveillance cameras all over the place, and I've seen interviews with several people that used to work there. And this is just from my take on it, and I can't speak for other people, is that all of them said that there were security cameras everywhere, that you couldn't even sneeze and it not be picked up by a security camera in that place. And accusing a world-renowned paranormal investigator of trying or showing up to the Conjuring house to murder you, just because he had the same color truck, or someone had the same color truck as him. That doesn't make sense.
No.
You have to have proof. She should be called schizophrenic. He can't spell it. Tin said she should be called schizophrenic. He said, I can't spell, LOL. But that is why I made the comment that I hope that whoever wins this bid is a seasoned paranormal investigator. And I hope that it's some person who can give the house the love and attention that it needs, and give respect to the spirits that are there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, if they're not respected, they're not expected to give respect back. And that's a big thing, is to want to do the research, not just listen to the rumors, but do the research to find out about the people that may have lived in your house. That way, this whole thing about, her putting a sewing needle in her son's, head and killing him, and her cursing everybody, and all this and that and the third, and her being a witch, and all that nonsense doesn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
that's absolutely why, and I explained to people, I said, only going ghost hunting and, and using your equipment and all that stuff. That, I mean, yeah, that's great. And it's great to get, evidence, whether it's pictures, EVPs, whatever. But you have to do your due diligence in researching the background to make sure that what you're getting is adding up. That's where my question of manifesting things came from. I was watching a documentary on the Sally House, and one of the things is, there's a story of Sally, and the doctor operated, and he didn't have her fully under anesthesia before he cut, and she jumped and it nicked her and she bled out. But when you go back in the history and to all the people like around it, there is no knowledge, there's no paperwork, there's no documenting anything stating that there was a little girl named Sally. So at that point, where did the story come from? Is that why, you do have stuff that's happening, but is it happening because the story came out and then it was told again and again and again and went through the years, and people are coming in and they're scared because they think there's a little girl named Sally there, and then voila, you are there ghost hunting and you're getting the name Sally and all this stuff. But is it really, or is it something else pretending to be a little girl? And that's the other question, with
yeah,
the pentagram and stuff that they had in the basement. And, apparently there was, occult stuff going on, satanic rituals. And, so you're left with a question, is it a demonic presence? And that's what's going to that's what's going on. Or did we manifest it by telling the story over and over and over again for several years?
right. You're absolutely correct. Hey, Lisa Leland is in the chat. Hey, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
And to everyone, it says we have, there's 56 comments. But that's, and what do we always say about being a well-rounded paranormal investigator, is that you have to be willing to debunk things first,
Mm-hmm.
and put to use good common sense. And after you've exhausted all the scientific possibilities, then you would lean more towards paranormal, having a paranormal experience. And Tim just said, sounds like the Chastain house. Once again, fabricated stories. Here we go, fabricated stories. But this is what sells. This
Mm-hmm.
is what sells. Creep factor anymore. I have never, now I'm in my 50s, doing this for a really long time. I've never in my life seen more of an explosion of, I want to be a paranormal investigator. Let's do paranormal investigating. Let's go to quote unquote haunted houses, or haunted places, and do investigations than I have in probably about the past, I don't know, what would you say, Jen? 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
And who wants to be a quote unquote paranormal investigator and go to a house that is more of like a history lesson versus, you know, I want to get stuff on film. I'm going to get, you know, I want to get stuff here. I want to get stuff there, you know, and psyching yourself up to be scared.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that now, is that, would you rather go for a history lesson or would you rather want to be scared?
Well, I like both. So I like going for my history lessons and doing all that stuff and learning about things that happen. And then I like going to my haunted attractions in October to be scared.
Yeah, I guess that's right. Yeah, that's a good thing. I mean,
But yeah,
I
Bruce and I, we really like to go out and we like to, you know, when we do stuff like that, we like to go for the history lesson too, because Bruce is a big history buff. He loves
Yep.
that, you know, he packs in all that knowledge, all the useless knowledge. He's got it all. And, you know, so we definitely like to go and do things like that and get the history lesson along with trying to capture stuff, you know, to kind of, you know, document where we've been and what, you know, is going on there.
right.
And matter of fact, one of the things he just hit me with last night, they just posted Fort Delaware is starting up their ghost tours at night.
Yep.
And he was asking me last night, he's like, do we have 7 people? He's like, because we only need 7 people for a group, so we don't get 7 people we don't know. I was like, I could find 7 people.
Does he know
You
us?
were one. You were one.
Does he know us at all? I mean, come on, Bruce. Do you know us at all, hon?
That's what I said when I was sitting there talking about it earlier. All the girls at work were like, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I was like, 7 people is. I thought the groups were bigger the last time we went, but he said there's 7, and I was like, wow, it's a 7 people. I said I can get us 7 people because I said I'd rather be in a group with people that I know that are going to go and, you know, listen and take the information in and take it seriously, and not get stuck with people who do not and have been there before. And when they ask if you want to ask any questions to any of the spirits that's there, you get, what's the next winning lottery numbers?
Yeah. Well, what's the numbers to the Powerball?
Yeah, that was exactly what happened. And I'm just like looking at Bruce like, seriously, this is what my night is going to entail.
Yeah. Yeah. Or do something to scare me. Won't you touch me?
Yeah.
Touch me. Yeah, no. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I have never been there at night.
Oh, really?
Never. Nope. Been there during the day bazillion times.
Well, we're gonna have to figure out one of the dates coming up that we're all available so we can go.
I mean, look, a show of hands that's in the chat right now. Jim, Lucy, I know you're in for this. So that you got me, you, your husband. So that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already.
Yeah, Jace will want to go because he wants to start getting into it and seeing how we do things and stuff like that. So I definitely have Jace that'll go, and yeah. So it's not hard, but I definitely will have to figure out a night that we're all available so we can go, and you know, and then that'll be one of our podcasts. We can go over everything and what happened. And
yeah.
So
yeah, I'd love to do that. I mean, we got some pretty good. The Lucy said, "Yes, we are. Yes, we are." Oh, man. Dave Cummings says being a history lover is why I gotten into the paranormal because of all the strange things that happen. Tim Hopper, of course, says I love history. Dave says, "Don't forget me." Dave Cummings, me. You know, he could ride up one night and do it. We did catch quite a few things when we were in the was it the POW barracks?
Yeah, we got a lot in there. And Bruce actually told me, he goes, we got a lot. And he goes, and then you left. And he goes, and we got way more. I said, I couldn't help it. I said, he gave me a headache. I had to walk out for a few minutes.
Terrible, terrible.
But yeah, we did get that. And actually, the day that we went there, during the day, I have one of the best EVPs that I've ever gotten of a male deep voice saying fire when we were in the blacksmith shop.
When we were in the blacksmith spot. Yep.
So
Tim says you guys got to come down here. We will go to the Key West Museum and talk with Robert the doll. I told you only if you buy me a box of Depends. Only if you buy me a box of Depends. It's not that I'm scared by dolls.
You got a deal.
Okay. Okay. I want to see a big old box of them Depends sitting on your counter waiting for me. Look, he whoop out. Look how
he's on Amazon right now.
He's on Amazon right now. He's on Amazon right now. Buy me Depends. Oh God. Yeah, listen, I can't say that dolls scare me because they don't. They're just creepy. They're just odd.
I am not scared of dolls. They are creepy. There is a creepy factor to dolls.
Yeah.
And there's been quite a few in my childhood that, were had something a little off with them. But the absolute two that I absolutely hate is a ventriloquist doll, like the one from like the Goosebumps.
Oh yeah, no, man, no.
I cannot do them. I don't even. There's no way I would even be in the same room with one of them. And then the other one is that little monkey with the cymbals.
The little cymbals.
Yep.
Do you know they have one in the Martins Museum?
I have seen that. And then they just came out with a horror movie regarding one of them.
Regarding the monkey, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know what it is, but ever since I was a little kid, those two things right there, that was it. And still to this day, you will not catch me in the same room with either one of those items by ourselves. It's not happening.
Yeah, it's that eyes for that monkey, man. It's that his eyes, man.
Even like the mouth, the face, like he's just like,
yeah, like that. Like he got some evil planning that he's got up in his head somewhere. Bruce said, "Let me know ahead of time so I can order the tickets." Yes, touchdown. Yeah, no. The same thing with, all right, everybody says clowns are creepy. What are your thoughts on clowns, man?
I am not a clown lover. I'm a little bit better. I'm not as bad with them as I was. I can, because before, like years ago, I wouldn't even watch the clown parts on the movie It. Like I would have to turn my face. Yeah. Like I just couldn't do it. They're not too bad, but I still don't like them. I would probably go the opposite way if one was coming at me on the street, especially if it looks like one of the horror clowns, like the Terrifier or something like that.
Right.
I'm definitely going in the other direction, and you're going to see a trail of smoke because that's how fast I'm going to be moving. And everybody always asks her, like, oh, everybody always picks clowns, and for whatever I legit have a thing that happened when I was a child that traumatized me. And I went to the circus with the friends of my next door neighbor's parents and her, and we were sitting in the bottom row of this circus that they had, and it kind of dipped down. So when they walked toward where you were at sitting, they were kind of like, where my feet were like midway to them.
Right.
And this clown came over and kept saying, "Come on, come on." And I was like shaking my head like, "No, I don't want to." And he grabbed my legs and grabbed my ankles and started pulling me off the bench through the bars. And that was it. That I kicked and kicked, and I think I might have hit him somewhere because he finally let go. And I went back up like one more seat so he couldn't get to me. But that was it. After that, you might as well forget it. Clowns and me do not mesh at all.
That's it, everybody. I'm just saying. You show up to Jen's house with a clown mask on, and you'll wake up 3 days later with a stake on your eye. not remembering
They
anything.
might
Okay,
actually they might thank me because they might wake up in the next week and then they'll have another paycheck sitting there waiting for them.
with a big old steak on their eye and a black eye.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah. Clowns don't scare me. They give me ick factor. That's just like, ew.
Yeah, because
But I won't run, but I will definitely just be like, ew, get away from
yeah,
me.
I think to me it's more or less the fact that they're wearing a skin, and I don't know who's under that skin. You have John Wayne Gacy. He wore a clown suit, and then look at him. It was a skin. And then you have other people who, wear that skin because why? They're trying to get close to kids or whatever. So it is an ick factor. And I think, when you combine that with what happened to me in the clown when I was younger, it's always going to be in the vault. And I'll probably remember that to the day I die.
Wow. Bruce, your husband, he goes, he said, here he goes. She hates clowns, but she likes Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal.
I do like Sweet Tooth.
Ah! Oh my goodness. Now, how could you like that? Like, hate clowns, but like Sweet Tooth. I just want to know.
Have you watched it?
I have not, but I've seen pictures.
Well, you have to watch it. It's more or less the personality of him. He's wearing a clown mask,
Yes.
but just the things that he says and he does, it's just funny. And I just like his personality as, the type of person that he's playing in there. Mm-hmm. And it's just like a big, lovable killing
with
machine.
Flames shooting out of his head.
Yeah, but you just have to watch it. You just have to watch it.
And a big ass machete.
You just have to watch it.
Okay. I just have to watch it, people. He's got flames shooting out of his head, and he's carrying a big ass machete that's like half the size of his body. Okay, but I just gotta watch it. All right, rationale there, Jen. Dave says porcelain dolls are a little creepy. According to Tim, I don't like them either. I got escorted out of Disney in Halloween Horror Night back in 2007. I punched a dude who jumped out on me, all painted up like a damn Fruit Loop.
He told us about that. Remember? We made fun of him all night.
Yeah. The only adult person to be completely kicked out of Disney's Horror Fest because you won't punch some guy because he ran up on you. I mean, I understand being startled, but that's what you're there for. That is what you're there for. That makes absolutely no sense.
Yep.
Anyhow, I will, if you try and scare me or you startle me, you will get my 5 knuckles somewhere on your body. I'm just warning people.
Body limbs will be like flying in every direction.
Yes. Limbs will be moving. Limbs will be moving. And I must preface that every time we go somewhere where it's really dark. Like the first, when I went to Hales Bar Dam, and I did, with East Tennessee Ghost Seekers, right? We were all there. We were there with podcasters, other, notable paranormal investigators. Mike Howard was there. He's been in the Fast and Furious movies. He was there. In fact, he was the first one who asked me a question. He asked me, he said, what do you see in that building? Now, mind you, they were there prior to me getting there. I rolled up kind of not all late and wrong, but I was there a little later than everybody else, you know. So, because I'm not from there and I went to, it's in Tennessee. Had no idea where I was going. And I said, are you talking about the little boy that's peeking out the window from the third floor of the building right there? And he's kind of like doing this, and all you see is this, the top of his head, because he's doing that. And he said, oh my God, apparently he had snapped a picture prior to me getting there, and what you see is a little boy doing this, from this, doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh yeah, that's him. Miranda had to be there that night, so I had to have bumped into Miranda that night. He's speaking of, was that Miranda? Yeah, he's speaking of Miranda Young. She had to be there. And I just did not know her. They were throwing me from group to group to group. I had no idea who was what or who was where the whole time. But I did make the comment, and I made Stephen Brown laugh, because I said, please do not grab me, because if you grab me, hands will be flying, fists will be going. I mean, we're in the dark, and if you have ever been,
Knees will be going this way, and my legs will be going this way.
Yeah, I'll be flinching. If you've ever been to Hales Bar Dam, when you go inside the tunnels to get inside the actual building itself, you have to go through underground tunnels, and it is pitch black. There are no lights anywhere. No lights in this building at all. There's no working electricity in this building. So we went down the tunnel, and I heard people talking, and I said, as long as you're talking to me or asking me questions, we're fine. Or say, hey, I said, you have to understand, I'm worried about everybody else in our group. I've got spirits speaking to me. I got something following me who's crawling along the ceiling, and I got you touching me. So one of these is going to get popped. Thankfully, nobody got popped that night. Thankfully, nobody got popped last night.
I'm just going to step over here to this side.
Yeah, yours truly did channel, and we got some good EVP. We beat Disney all over again. It was hilarious because I went in with a group, and it was the last group that Stephen had put me with. So I had time with each and every one of the groups that was there, or groups that was made up, little pods. And we came across this thing, and I said, it is staring at me, and I have to speak to it because it won't leave me alone. And I sat down in a chair, and it was sitting above me on a bar. And I said, if you think you're big and bad, you've been following me all night. This is your opportunity to say something or get lost. What are you going to tell me? What do you have to say? Speak now or forever hold your peace. I said, because, this back and forth with you, hiding from me, is not helping you at all. And I knew it was something bad. We got nothing. We heard absolutely nothing. I heard something, but I couldn't make it out. And it growled at me. And I said, is that all you've got? I'm here. And whenever you're ready to communicate with me, you just let me know. So it was hot. We all went back into one of the break rooms that they had, or the safe room they called it, which had air conditioning. And they had like drinks and, water and stuff for everybody, and chairs. Someone that was in the group with me was playing back her recorder. And she went, "No way." And I thought she was talking to somebody else because I was at the bar getting a soda. And Steven was there, and I was talking to Steven. And he said, "Oh, she's coming up after you." And she said, "No way, you got to listen to this." And she played it in front of Steven, and it said, "Bring the bitch back, I'm ready." And I was like, "Let's go. Let's go." I was so hyped, Jen. I was so hyped. I was like, "Let's go." Steven told me I couldn't. He told me, "We don't want everybody's tired. We don't have enough people in a group to keep you safe. We don't want you going back in there." I said, "Damn it. Damn it. I want to go back in there." I was like, "Oh, come on. Come on." I was ready to go back in there. But native spirit is attached to that place. There is native spirit that's attached to that place. You've got a lot of hundreds of people that died in that place. You got a lot of things going on in with that place. So if you ever go to Tennessee, it's along the Nickajack River, and it's called Hales Bar Dam, and it's attached to a little town called Halestown or Haletown. Haletown was made just like Hershey. It was a town that was made for the workers for the dam that actually never wound up getting built on that spot, but got built further down the Nickajack River in the 60s finally. From the 20s to the 60s, that's how long it took to get made, because they had fail after fail in that one spot.
That's crazy. That should have told him something.
Well, yeah, but nobody wants to listen. Did he lose us? He said he lost us.
Who lost us?
Tim. Oh God, I can't even type anymore. We good? The W good? God. I'm typing like I have Tourette's. I don't know if he can. He lost us on StreamYard.
That's
That is
weird.
terrible. He lost us on StreamYard, he says.
How does that happen?
I don't know, but we're moving just fine on YouTube. That's terrible. We're still moving on YouTube.
Well, I don't know.
That's crazy. Hold on. Which is Wingin It? Chat history is missing. I don't want my chat history not missing. I don't know what's going on. Look at that, people. We've just been shot off the air on StreamYard. Hold on here. Oh, well. You know, that doesn't surprise me, Jen. Are you texting him?
He just sent me a text. He's like, "I lost you on StreamYard." I just sent back the eyes.
Oh, God. Terrible. I don't know what's going on. Okay, but we're still going on, girl. So I know we kind of went. Look, I wish I had a pair of binoculars. Can everyone see us? Can everyone see us? Just asking. We're still going strong on live.
That's crazy.
That makes no sense, but I don't think I don't see any of the comments. Oh no. Lucy's like, Bruce is like, I can hear you and I can see you. Lucy said, still on Facebook. I don't know. He lost us. So I know we kind of went off on a tangent
do.
from your original plan. What you wanted to talk about. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
But you started it. Asking
I
me
did.
about
That's why I said I wasn't even worried about it. I was like, 'cause I knew we'd talk about something and it would go from here to there to point G to Z to Y to A. So.
But that's what makes our show great, though.
That's what we do.
I mean, that's what we do. There is no straight line. If you are looking for a straight line on our show,
It's not here.
it's not here. Tell them, Jen. Tell them go someplace else.
We zigzag here.
Yes.
We zigzag, a little bob and weave, and
you might even end up in a whole ass another universe. Who knows? Who knows with our show? Who really knows?
Or I could ask a question and make your mind just.
You know what? I have not ever forgiven you for that, Jen. I mean, you made me question my sanity with that question.
More are coming.
Jen.
I like to get deep and really think about things, and it's hard.
That was a cave, honey. That was a cave you put me in.
I think of things at home and I question myself, and then I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm talking to myself in my head, and then I start talking to myself outside, and I'm sitting there going through everything that I'm thinking about, and then I was finally I'm like, I really need to start asking other people this so I have somebody to talk to, because I know people be looking at me in my car like she's crazy.
Yep, pretty much. Oh, you should see me at the grocery store. We would make a good couple going to the grocery store. Both of us talking to ourselves,
Yeah.
Neither of us paying attention to anything. Standing there with the ice cream, the freezer door to the ice cream section open for 5 minutes, carrying on a conversation.
That's where the hot flashes.
Huh?
That's where the hot flashes.
See, you gave away my excuse.
Oh, I still look at the ice cream. I may even buy some, but I am there for the cold air.
I'm there just for the spirits, man. Open up the freezer door. What do you want? Not now.
No, I always get stuck when I go to the grocery store by myself. I'll go and I'll pop my earbud in so I can listen to my book or music or something. Mm-hmm. And the last time I'm walking through and this guy walks up, and I guess he had said something to me and I had my earbud in, and then he steps in front of me and he's like, excuse me. And I'm like, excuse you. And he's like, here, he's got a card and he's handed it to me. He's like, the next time you come, if you ever come to this place, and he's telling me where it is and everything, I'm looking at him. He's like, you can use that and you'll get a free drink. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, so let me get this straight. I was like, you give me this card to get this free protein shake at your place. I was like, you calling me fat?
Oh!
He was like, no. I was looking at it.
Terrible.
It says it's for losing weight. I was like, dude, you are messing with my music. I was like, leave me be. I will never visit your store.
You interrupted my audiobook. I was getting to the juicy parts too, because this is a romance novel, and then you interrupted me by telling me I'm fat and I need to have a protein shake at your place.
I don't need that. I'm listening to my book boyfriend right now. He doesn't think I'm fat.
That is so bad. That is so bad.
Yeah, but that always happens. Somebody always wants to say something to me, and then of course my face. I know it's written all over my face. I'm usually like, what? Yeah. Person's like, you're so mean looking when you what?
Your subtitles are always on, Jen. Your subtitles.
Oh, they're always on my face. There is no fixing that ever.
I say that about myself. I'm the first person to say, listen, my lips may be silent and not moving, but that subtitles on my face, the closed caption is on all the
Yeah.
time. You
The
know,
girls at work are forever, all day, just looking at me and they're like, fix your face. Just fix your face before you turn around and look at somebody. Because somebody will say something. And I'm just there like, and they're like, fix your face before you turn around.
oh
I'm like,
Jesus.
okay.
You need just you need a wing woman to go with you everywhere and tell you to fix your face. Jen, fix your face.
Yeah, I have a shirt that says I'm not responsible for what my face does when you speak. I
Where
wear
did
it
you get that
everywhere.
shirt? I want one.
I want to say it came off Etsy.
I want one. I want one.
But yeah, I got that. I wear it everywhere, and I get compliments everywhere I go. They're like, "I love that shirt," and I'm like,
Yes.
and it's honest. I was like, because I know I probably looked at you cross-eyed, like I had a problem with you before you said anything. I had one lady in Ace Hardware one night, and we went in there for something, and she's like staring, and I forgot that I wore it, and she's just sitting there staring at me, and finally I turn around, like looking at her, like, "What are you looking at?" And she's like, "I like your shirt," and I had to look down at it. I was like, "Oh, thanks." Like, my bad. I didn't mean to look at you like that.
And then Jen was all embarrassed.
No, I really wasn't, but she laughed, and I said, "See, I said it's truthful."
There you go. Can't say you weren't wearing an honest shirt.
Nope,
You know?
my face just does that. I was like, doesn't mean anything, but
Listen,
that's just my face.
Again, my face is a deterrent. This hole is a deterrent. You know what I mean? I always say that I live on caffeine, sarcasm, and bad decisions every day of my life. You know,
Sounds about
so caffeinated but dead inside. That's my motto. What can I say? So that means that every time we're around together and you giving me the mean mug, I guess that's a Jen, fix your face. You might want to.
Fix my face. That's it.
Look, I'll
And
just do
the
this.
whole face will transform.
Yeah, Jen, you might want to
Just
fix that. Just that. Yeah. Put that away.
it's just me. Yeah. And Bruce knows it. That's like when I went for one of my job interviews one time. He goes, "Babe," he goes, "I love you." He was like, "But just make sure when you go in there, you smile and hold that smile." I was like, "I just want to let you know I did go in smiling and I held that smile. And when I left that place, I said, I felt like a psycho."
I can't with you. I can't with you. Your husband says that free drink came with a roofie. It comes with a roofie. Tim is like, you don't even want to look at mine. Apparently his face says 1,000 words. Listen, we're on that subject. This here is a deterrent. Trust me. And I'm happy with it being a deterrent. He said, we were talking back and forth about, being still live on YouTube. Jim goes, this is the YouTube admin. Get off my air. Get off my air. Bro, you're terrible. You really are. Oh my goodness. We made something out of nothing for 2 hours, miss.
We always do.
We always do. We are never without a subject of some kind, whatever. Nope. Do you have anything else to add on to tonight?
No, I don't think I have anything to add. But again, to all the people out there watching, if there is a topic that you guys are interested in and want to discuss, throw it out there and definitely let us know. I would love to dig into some research. Like, sometimes I'm just one of those people, like, I start thinking about that we can talk about and I start researching, and it's like I want to touch on everything, and it's very hard for me to decide like what we're doing. But if somebody can throw something out there they're interested in to give me like a focal point, I will dig in and do some research and get you some information.
There you go. So, contact Jen. Jen, where can they get a hold of you?
They can definitely get a hold of me on Facebook. You can post to my page. You can message me. You can also send me an email. It's Jen Dodson at Jen Dodson29 at gmail.com. And I can definitely just any way you can get a hold of me. If you see my name, just click it.
Just click it. Look, just click.
Just click.
Just click. That's our hashtag now. Just click. Yeah. But even with me, if you want to send me something, I'm here on Facebook. You can send me an instant message. You can send me a Gmail email. Mine is ghostwhisperer318@gmail.com. So either one of us, it doesn't matter. Jen, I gotta hand it to you because thanks to you, you've held up this entire podcast with ideas from the word jump, and I really appreciate that. Half the time I feel lazy, like I've never come up with a topic, but even with our podcast that we have with Corner Cauldron, there are so many topics that I come up with, and I don't want to use them for both shows because then it kind of gets redundant. But there are a lot of times where I'll text bro and be like, "We got a topic." He's like, "I have nothing. Unless you got something, I ain't got jack shit. I have nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing, honey." But we always wind up making something out of nothing, and that's the best part, is being off the cuff and coming together with a group of people that likes the same genre of stuff, paranormal activity, and loves investigating and being true investigators when it comes to wanting to be historically correct too. And we know Jen and Bruce both absolutely love history. You want to give them something to chew on, give them something about history, or give them something to learn. Me too, because I want to learn the historical part of the subject. After I do all the other crazy stuff, then fill me in on the history of what went on. So without that being said, I still can't understand that you like Sweet Tooth.
It's just his personality. Because like they make it seem like, I mean, yeah, he is killing people in the show, but it's like everybody's killing it. It's in the apocalyptic world where you're kind of fending for yourself, but it's a comedy. And when you first meet him, he literally like Las Vegas is his. That's where he is. And then he ends up taking people prisoner and he brings them in. And at first, like I thought, oh well, this is it. Like this is like a maze through the casinos, and they're gonna kill him there because I was like, they have to. They're the main character, and they don't. And what happens is, Sweet Tooth just wants to be an actor. That's all he's ever wanted to be all of his life. So he legit makes them sit there and watch him do this play of one for like 2-3 hours, and then and at the end he's like, "What did you think?" And you're like, it's definitely a good show. Definitely funny, and it's a lightheartedness to a game that we all played when we were younger. So if anybody played that on the video games, that's where it's from. But
yeah, I love how Jen just says so nonchalantly, I mean, yeah, he kills people, but he's just so dang cute. I mean, no. He's so dang cute. Sure, he kills people, but he's so dang cute.
Have you ever watched Dexter?
What?
Have you ever watched Dexter?
Yes.
Okay, I'm the same way with Dexter. Like, yes. I love Dexter, so I'm like, should you really be mad at him for killing that person? Like,
he's so cute, but sure he murders people, but he's just so damn cute.
Yeah, like every time he would like question himself about like, am I like, can I do this? Can I I'm like, dude, you already love these people. I'm like, you're okay. I was like, you're doing
I love
us
how he
a
analyzes
public
himself.
service.
He analyzes himself, and he's like, yeah,
Mhm. And I'm right there analyzing them with him. I'm
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
the show.
There's Jen talking to the TV screen. You know what I mean? I can't. Tim said only if they deserve it. You have to be a funny killer, but only if they deserve it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
Jesus.
Dexter, he didn't kill anybody who didn't deserve it. So
That is true. I will admit that.
yeah, I will agree with his findings and how he did his work, but
I will tell you. Oh my goodness. All right, everybody. Well, it's been 2 hours. It has been great to be with Jen back again. I hope that you're feeling better, because I know the last time you were a little not feeling well. I hope that you are much better. Thanks to Tim for putting on the show and keeping us rolling, even though sometimes I think, he gets back there when things go sideways. He kind of like wants to shit himself, but he keeps it together. He keeps it together.
yes, he does.
We love you, Kat, and we love all of you. Thank you to everyone. We love you all out there in the in chat land that have stuck with us for all the years. Don't forget to catch Jim and Bro and I, on Corner Cauldron next Monday, same bat time, same bat channel. And what do we always say, Jen?
Keep it witchy.
Keep it witchy. Love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.